Hey everyone, I'm Jackie.
And I'm Ricky.
Welcome back to the channel, and welcome Ricky back to the channel.
It's been a while since Texas.
Yeah, since Texas, so January probably since he's been on. He's been working hard, so we might talk a little bit about his job later. But today's video is our Q&A. We asked you guys back in May for questions specifically for this video. We wanted to start doing a quarterly Q&A, so it's going to be our very first one. So if you have any questions for next quarter's video, leave them in the comments. We're going to shoot to do September 25th for that one. Also, let me know if you guys want us to try to do it live, and maybe we can set up a time to do it. So we had questions from 4 different viewers, so we wanted to go over those questions. Basically, some of the topics related today are how we met, what is next in our journey, where do we see ourselves in 5 years, and how do we stay motivated to achieve our goals. So let's jump in. Jake left a comment and it says, I think it would be great if you did the Q&A with family. My question is, how did you and Ricky meet?
We were both single before, and I actually met her
2008.
2008.
Yeah.
How we met, we were actually we were friends, and we just see each other once in a while, and next thing you know, we started dating. And we were
official probably like September, October of 2009, so almost a year after we had actually met. So I guess the question is, how did we meet? We basically met at a bar.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we had our
mutual friends, our young days. We were going out.
Yeah.
His group, you guys were dancers.
Yeah, we were dancers.
Like hip hop.
Yeah, hip hop dancers.
Yeah, so at the time I was actually teaching ballroom dancing, and I was dancing at the college, so it just kind of fit that, hang out with a bunch of dancers, I guess, is how we started hanging out as friends.
Well, I was supposed to live in California with my job, and I was in California for a month and decided to come back because I was actually bored over there. As soon as I came back, I didn't get to have my job anymore. I was looking for a job, and there's my wife, my future wife. And she was actually going through her stuff also.
Mm-hmm. We were actually, at that time, I had just lost my car, gone through basically a lot of stuff, and I was getting my license back over in Tempe, and I was waiting for a friend to pick me up, and while I was sitting there waiting, I saw Ricky. He was actually just coming out of applying at a restaurant to work or whatever, and I was like, hey, Ricky! And so we started talking again and exchanged phone numbers, and
I thought she gave me the wrong number. So I have to try it anyway.
Yeah.
There's these
on the radio, fake numbers.
Fake numbers. Next thing you know, people are dropping voicemails, and they thought they were calling the right person's number.
Yeah. So he called and didn't leave a voicemail. I didn't answer because I didn't know the number. He didn't leave a voicemail, but I had a feeling it was him trying to call because he was the only person I just gave my number out to. So I called him back. Sure enough, it was him, and we just started talking. And we started meeting. We kept meeting up. Like if we went out to the bar or the club or something like that, we would meet up. And next thing you know,
we have our regular date night.
Dating, making it official. Yeah.
Just watch a movie and have a good conversation.
Mhm. A few months later, we said, "Hey." Well, I didn't say it. He said it.
I didn't. Hey, let's just move in together.
Yeah. Yeah. So we started living together, and then we were actually at his friend's house one day. They were all practicing dance, and their son, was probably 2 at the time, was dancing around. He's like super cute, and Ricky leans over and he's like, hey, I want one. And the funny thing is, I never really saw myself having kids or being married at that time, you know, I was still going out having fun. And the funny thing is, I didn't even skip a beat. I said, all right, let's have a baby.
If it was that easy.
I know.
If it was that easy.
If it was that easy. Yeah, so we tried, and you know, it took us about 8 or 9 months. I was having some difficulty conceiving, so I was put on some medication, but then there was Arcadia. We were born with Arcadia. We had Arcadia, and then once Arcadia turned 3, we went ahead and got pregnant with Elsa, and so that's kind of how we met and became
the reason why
a family.
we wanted to have a second one because we used to watch Arcadia play by herself, and
Yeah.
she actually started crying like, oh, it's so sad.
Yeah. I was like, she needs somebody
Yep.
to play with. So now she has a crazy sister.
Yep.
Yeah. The question was, how did we meet? So that's more like, how did we meet and I guess get together and start our family and all of that. But yeah, that kind of leads us into our next question, which is from Heather. And she says, what is next in your journey and how do you both decide? So like Ricky said, we've kind of met. We were both in a transition stage of our life. So I think
Still trying to discover who we really
yeah, discovering who we were, and we were going through some rough times. So I think with that, it kind of brought us together, and from there, just almost from the beginning, once we were officially a couple, we've kind of just started always discussing the way we wanted to see our lives and our journey and stuff.
Yes.
Hi, baby. You want to say hi? Hi, Elsa. Oh, she's got a hamster. What's next in our journey?
Our journey is to save up, get our passport, and get to travel again. We want to go to Oregon, Florida, and then Hawaii.
Yeah. What about Alaska?
Oh yeah, Alaska.
Yeah. So we still have some places we want to go.
Yeah.
I think as far as that journey, we mentioned in one of our budget videos, we had mentioned that we wanted to travel also to other countries where the US dollar would go a little further. So that's, you know, one of the reasons we want to get the passport, to make sure we can go to some of those places, maybe check out Canada as well. But we don't really have a time frame on that. We didn't have a time frame on that before. So this is still things that we want to do. It's still, you know, coming up. I feel that like right now we're kind of focusing on becoming more financially secure before we do that. That's what he was saying, like saving up, having more. And as far as like the traveling part, I don't know if we'll end up doing it full time again.
Not full time.
Yeah.
Get to travel.
Just still get to enjoy traveling.
Yes.
We definitely want to do that. As far as what else could be next on our journey, financially wise, you know, saving and getting more secure, eventually hopefully becoming financially free. But that kind of leads into like career, business. So what's kind of your journey right now with your career?
My career, I wanted to be a pipe fitter. And then later on, the final stage is welder. But
Yeah, so
some people say you have to go to school for that, but for me, I'm going for experience-wise.
getting like on the job.
Yep, more hands-on and stuff. For now, I'm actually I work for a temp, so they started me off as a laborer 3 months ago, and now I'm just working hard just to prove that, you know, I can do it. And I'm actually doing assistance now. I'm assisting the pipe fitters, so pretty much it's climbing a little bit slowly, and
It's pretty good in only a couple months.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Good.
so.
Yeah.
And I'm not chasing the paper right now, and it's like my wife said, you're getting paid while you're learning. So yeah, she's right. You can't really chase a paper if you don't have the experience.
Yeah. You have to be, what do they say? You have to,
Yeah, you gotta
you get paid what you're worth, like how much you know.
Yes.
They say you're not getting paid by the hour, you're getting paid by, I guess, your abilities or what you bring to the table, I guess. So yeah. You can get paid to learn.
Yeah,
And
I'm actually learning a lot. So
yeah, so We say that would be like your career journey now is moving up to become a pipe fitter, a welder and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty cool.
Because you can be a welder, pipe fitter welder.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, I'm just pipe fitting.
Yeah.
I'm learning it.
Learning it, yeah. And I'd say as far as my career business, I mentioned this that I'm trying to form my online business. So that's part of the journey right now is getting my feet wet, learning as I go, and hopefully I'll start sharing some of this with you guys more as I start getting an idea of what I'm doing as well. But that's, same thing. If I can start making a full-time income off of the online business and Ricky pursues this career in pipe fitting, then we'll definitely be well off financially, and then we can start traveling in downtime or maybe even traveling myself. It would be awesome if I could travel to teach workshops or something eventually. So that's, I guess, our journey right now is just becoming here and ready to travel again. And then how do we both decide, how do we decide together? How do we decide on what's next in our journey?
Well, the first thing that we decided is have kids.
Yeah.
For us, like, we want to have good future.
Mm-hmm.
We want to have something for our kids also.
Mm-hmm. I think as far as how we decide, how we both decide, like I mentioned, when we met, we were both at that transition stage, so we automatically knew like we wanted to be a team, we wanted to be like a unit, and so we've kind of naturally just grown and progressed in a lot of areas of our lives together. We decided to get out of debt a couple years ago, we made that happen. We decided to hit the road last year, we made that happen. So I know the question was, how do we decide that? Like, how do we decide, okay, this is what's next? I guess the biggest thing is just communicating. It might be, one of us might come up with an idea and we just say it to the other person. The other person might think, well, mostly I come up with the idea and then he says I'm crazy. Mm-hmm. But eventually it kind of, like when we wanted to hit the road, we had other goals that we had in mind that were the same, and I started coming up with ideas on how to make those goals happen, and that's how
She made it happen, and just like I said before, she is the brain. I'm the muscle.
I would say one thing, I did share a video a few weeks ago on how to discover your goals, how to figure out what it is in your life, and I talked about this exercise that Bill Harris had, where you sit down and you write down everything you want to have, be, and do. And so Ricky and I actually did that together. We sat down and we wrote down all of that stuff, and then we compared our lists, and we said, okay, well, what do we both have on our lists that are the same or that could go hand in hand? And that's ultimately how we decide what's next on the journey. If we have like goals that are similar, then we can put them together and tackle them. But that's, kind of how we decide together, I'd say. From going from like what's on our journey, this kind of leads into our next question from Lillian. It says, hi Jackie, do you set long-term goals? Where do you visualize your life to be in 5 years? So yeah, we set long-term goals. I don't know if we haven't actually set dates on a lot of these goals, but we know some of them are more long-term. Like we mentioned, traveling different places that we know is not going to happen in the next year, maybe not even happen in the next 3 years. So some of those traveling goals might be like a 5-year goal. I don't know, where do you visualize your life in 5 years?
5 years, we'll have our own decent sized house. Doesn't have to be big.
Yeah.
So,
as you know, we're minimalist, so we like less space to maintain, but it would be nice to have our own space.
big backyard.
Yeah. More land than
Yeah.
more land than house.
So.
Yeah. So I guess that 5 years from now, as far as our physical environment, having the house, we haven't really decided exactly where we want to live yet. Like we mentioned, there's still a few states that we want to explore.
Who knows? We might change our state someday.
We don't know. So we kind of answered that in the last question about what's next on our journey. Some of those things that we mentioned as far as our journey, those I would say a lot of those are probably going to be 5-year goals. As far as him moving up to a pipe fitter, I think you could do that within 5 years.
I think so.
Yeah, and then myself having the business up and running with a full-time income within 5 years, definitely can see that. I think we might be able to travel to some of those places by then. So that's some of our 5-year goals. And then as far as like, our life, like Ricky just mentioned, having a house, a decent house with land, or not land, but a nice yard. Yeah, and I'd say by 5 years, I definitely want to be financially secure. We won't be financially free, completely free or independent yet, but definitely financially secure. So having our retirement fund up and running, having our emergency fund savings, having the down payment for the house, having, or maybe even having, you know, a good chunk of it paid, and then having the business basically covering all of our expenses. I think that'll be, yeah. So our last question is from PalisBee, asks, how do you stay motivated for you and your family? I find I lose sight at my goals and fall back into old habits more than I like. I think everybody does, for sure. So what would be, you know, a few reasons how you stay motivated when you're going after a goal?
When people think you can't do it, prove them wrong. Simple as that.
Yeah. I'll say something that kind of re-motivates me, because I know it's hard to stay motivated. Like I said, I think everybody falls off. But basically, whatever your goal is, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, also know, like, why do you want the goal? So why are you trying to go for it? So that way, that's going to help you kind of come back and say, okay, I want this because of this. The other thing that I think helps too is if you can figure out, you know, we trigger on fears. So we may feel like something's too hard, or it's going to take a lot of time, or it might be suffering to do it. So we fear this instead of doing the goal because we fear how much work it's going to take. But instead, you replace that fear with what's going to happen if you don't do this goal. So say you're trying to get in better health, and your health depends on it, your life depends on it. Well, you need to fear not doing it versus fearing the work it will take to do it, and know why you need to, you know, why you want to do it. Or the other thing is, instead of saying I should do it or I want to do it, replace it with I must do it. You need to, you know, that kind of helps you stay motivated to do it. And I really like the fact that you said you get into old habits. So that's right there, that key word, habits. Basically, think of a new habit to replace the old habit. So don't worry so much about not doing whatever it is that you don't want to do, but replace it with the good habit that you're trying to do that's going to help you reach your goal. And if you ever do, you know, you fall off and you're not motivated anymore, you can always revisit your goal, revisit why you had that goal, and reassess if you still want that goal. Maybe you actually achieved that goal in another form and you forgot to make a bigger goal or something. So that, I mean, we've done that. We've reassessed our goals a lot when we've kind of got off of the path of going after stuff.
There's always another door open.
There's always another, there's always another door open. So yeah, so those are the questions we had from our Q&A video request for this video. So I want to thank all 4 of you for asking. Those are some great questions. If I mentioned, like I mentioned some of the videos that I had gone as far as how we're goal setting, I'll leave those in the description box. And again, we're going to do another Q&A in September. So leave us your questions in the comments for that video. If you'd like to see us do it live, then let us know. We'll try to answer some questions live, unedited. I don't know how that will go because we always have the girls interrupting in the background. But yeah, do you have anything to add before we let them go?
Thanks for watching again, and I apologize, I've been MIA, but I'm always here.
He's always here. He's in the background, rooting me on, working hard for the family. But
that's my motivation.
There you go. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I don't know if you want me to go into that much.
Well, you told me. Okay. We were just, okay.
Okay, go get Sissy. Go with Sissy.
Sissy's coming.
Sissy's coming? I got some muscles too.
Yeah, she did.
Just kidding.
Calm down. You gotta wait. You hurt somebody.